What's going on, guys? It's the Hunter Project here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to stray a little bit away from Monster Hunter and to a little area that used to be brought up by a select few viewers during my streams, and that is how to go about starting a YouTube channel like I did for myself back in October of 2020. Before we start, be sure to smash the like buttons. If this video helps you out at all, it's extremely appreciated and helps out the channel a ton, and subscribe for more content like this, as if you guys do enjoy this video, expect a lot more tips videos on the way on starting and growing your YouTube channel. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. I'll try and make sure the tips I do give you are from my exact experience starting out up until like where we are now at like 1,200 subscribers. And once again, guys, I do want to thank you all so much for the support since the start of my journey all the way up until now. It's extremely appreciated, and I'll just make sure that the tips I give you are more realistic rather than the generic tips that you will get from most videos, like just making sure your SEO is good, as of course that's only a certain, like one factor of the many that go into growing a YouTube channel and whether or not it'll be successful. So the first tip I'd give is branding. You want to make sure your channel is recognizable, and you want to make sure people are able to differentiate your channel and content from others. For me, I just went into Photoshop and put together a banner to fit my channel, which is just the Naga Cougar and the Hunter Project, as well as like when I will upload, how consistent my videos will be, and so forth. Just putting just basic information that will help someone who clicks on your channel, clicks onto your like page, as to what your channel is about and what they could expect. And then as for the logo, that was also very quick. Before I had that many subscribers, where I just grabbed a Rathalos icon off of Google, making sure it wasn't copyrighted, and just slapped together a little icon where it had my name, the Hunter Project, and then it had a little circle to keep it nice and clean, and it was just a very just nice looking icon, if I do say so myself. And you just don't want anything too messy where it is hard for them to understand what the icon's trying to be. Make sure it does give your channel some identity as to what people will expect, and just overall this will just help give all your content like that identity for returning viewers and even first time viewers as to like who you are. And of course now, if you do especially around like the Reaver Jolt community, my community, and I do think that more and more people, at least compared to when I first started, are starting to associate my little icon of that Rathalos with the little text under it to me as like the Hunter Project. And like even in like some of Reaver Jolt's streams, of course he did do the collab with me, and I appreciate it a lot for letting me jump onto his channel. That was awesome. If I do comment on one of it during while he's streaming or something, there are quite a few people who will recognize the name and the icon that goes with it. So you definitely do want to think about this before you start and have that from the get-go, as even if you're really small, branding can go an extremely long way, as people will look at it and be like, okay, this guy's serious, they are professional, they have a identity to them that's unique for them, I want to subscribe, see where this goes. And I definitely recommend just making sure before you start your YouTube channel, have this idea at least in mind. You don't have to, you can start without the branding, but you do definitely want to have that from the get-go as soon as possible. Right, so next, you want to be realistic. Starting your channel and bringing your vision of it to fruition may or may not cost you some money from the get-go. It is going to be an investment, especially if you want this to be a job. And this doesn't mean you need to splash out on gadgets, but you will need to make sure you have the bare minimum quality assurance, such as a capture card if you're capturing a console. Of course, if you're on PC, you can just use OBS, and a decent microphone that sounds nice enough for people to listen to and not get annoyed. The key thing here is, of course, your capture card if you are wanting to capture your gameplay, but your microphone is extremely important. People can deal with watching something in 480p, but if they're having to listen to something that sounds just absolutely horrible, they're not going to want to watch your video. It's just a simple fact. Your microphone's going to be one of your biggest assets to keeping it really formal and presentable. So definitely focus on that. If you need to, save a bit of money and then buy a microphone. Your microphone is going to be one of your biggest assets, as even if you're a very good speaker, it's not going to come through so well on a very bad microphone. So you definitely want to get that down. And if you want me to, I can make a video as to some nice budget ideas as to what you could use for capture cards and microphones and even webcams if you want to go that route. But definitely just make sure your microphone, you do some research and get a very nice one. It doesn't have to be expensive. There are a lot of very good budget microphones, like off the top of my head, the Snowball, I think it's the Blue Snowball, very good microphone. I myself have a Blue Yeti, extremely good microphone. You will maybe need to do some mixing on your computer to get it to sound as you want, but when you do get that done, it will sound very nice for not being too expensive as well. But that is definitely something you do want to keep in mind. The next tip is to make evergreen content. So content like evergreen content is just basically timeless. It can always have a possibility of being searched for and watched, and this usually would be content such as like tutorials, guide videos, challenge videos, anything that someone can watch at any year and they could enjoy it and have get something out of it, whether that's enjoyment or information. For example, if you have no viewer base and you create a video related to like a timed event of a game, after that period of time, it would become very unlikely for someone to search it up and watch it, as they won't be going in for your personality, they'll be going in for the information. Like, when you're very small, that is just the sad reality of it. Of course, you may get that one-off viewer that comes in to be like, okay, I wonder what this person's personality is like, but for the most part, 99%, probably 99.5% will not come in for your personality. They'll come in for information and they'll be seeking something, and then over time, when you do build that fan base, you will start to get people who want to come to watch you rather than the exact game that you're playing. And you do want to sprinkle in a few of these throughout your content, like alongside content you really want to make as well. If evergreen content is what you really want to make, then that's fine as well. You can just keep making content like that. But if you do want to make things like playthroughs and stuff, you do want to sprinkle in evergreen throughout, as these types of videos could easily blow up randomly, as they've done for myself. One example of it being my Monster Hunter World Should You Buy video, and another being the tutorial on how to get Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on PC. These two videos have done very well, and even there's another Monster Hunter World one where I do a decorations farm. Monster Hunter World, massive game, still very popular, and it still gets quite a few views to this day on the people just looking for tips on how to get things done. So tutorials are definitely a very good way to go, and just teaching people something, teaching them how to do something, or teaching them information about the game that would be vital to their success, very beneficial. Just this content overall is very beneficial, so make sure you are utilizing it where possible. Next, we've got engagement. This is key, especially for creating a consistent viewer base, which is very important on YouTube, as you may, if you have watched other videos on how to grow on YouTube, you will probably have heard of how the first hour or the first 2 hours, very important on how YouTube pushes out your video. So you do want to make sure that you are replying to comments, hearting them, and most of all creating that form of communication with your viewers and that little relationship where you're able to like, okay, spot out specific viewers in your comment section, like okay, they usually return, and you just want to make sure you build up that relationship. I'd recommend something like Discord, where you're able to create areas for viewers to chat with each other, and most importantly, have easy contact with you. For me, I created a Discord server, which started out extremely slow. If Sharkhead is watching this video, Sharkhead knows firsthand how slow and small the server was, but now it has grown quite a lot and continues to grow and be active. Finally, the last tip I will leave you guys with is don't get hung up on doing this as a job, especially when you're just starting out and you have 0 subscribers and you're building up slowly. Only do YouTube if you actually enjoy the journey. Like, you want to make sure you create content you would like to watch and make sure you enjoy the process as a hobby. Don't fall into the trap where you put a few hours work into a video and not get the views and subs that you want, as it will happen quite often. I do have a video myself which I'll plug in case it does actually start picking up some traffic, which was a Monster Hunter World Challenge where I don't sharpen my weapon, and I think I do every quest only once, so making armor was a bit more difficult and so forth. But basically this video took me around, I'd say, 14 hours to make, 10 hours playing through the game, a few hours writing up the script and what I was be saying, and then also of course the recording, editing it together. That took a long time and it completely flopped. And although it did kind of make me a bit down, I didn't think it was a waste of time because I did learn a lot doing it. So if you do truly want to pursue YouTube and make it possibly a career at some point and make a brand out of it like I'm doing for myself, you're going to want to ride through the highs and lows and not give up. You want to keep consistent with your upload schedule. Don't worry if you switch it up. Like for me, in like December of last year, I was going daily uploads. Then I turned it into like I think every 2 days. Now it's every 3 days, possibly 4 days if I do fall behind schedule. But I don't like beat myself down too hard if I do miss a day. If I do miss a day, it's usually going to be by 1 day, unless like I got like ill or something, like I did 2 weeks ago, where I did end up getting COVID, unfortunately, and that obviously put a massive wedge in my consistency. But now I am back on like my consistency on how I'm uploading, and I am making sure I'm getting at least one video out every 3 to 4 days, just so the YouTube algorithm knows that I am still active, which is a big part of being a small YouTuber. Unless you're insanely, like you're hitting a spot in the market which people really love to watch and it's never been done before, you probably are going to have to be quite consistent to grow at a decent rate. You will be growing if you do upload once a week, once a month, but it's not going to be anywhere as close as if you're uploading daily or every few days, which I would recommend. If you do have the time, definitely put the work in, but obviously make sure you're still enjoying it, because you don't want to just burn yourself out and then just quit. So there's a lot more tips that I can give you guys, but I do want to wrap up this video so it's not too long. And of course, with that said, that brings us to the end of this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons. It's extremely appreciated and helps out the channel a ton. Comment down below if you want me to make more tips videos on starting and growing out your YouTube channel, as this is only the tip of the iceberg for tips on YouTube, as I have learned a lot over the past 9 months and would love to share my knowledge with you guys. So don't forget to join our Discord as well, link is at the top of the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.